Hello, senor. I am working on the studio. I am working on the new studio.
I'm Amy Klobuchar's secret Mexican baby, Jaime Klobuchar. Where's my mother? I told her mother she's in Wisconsin. She abandoned me in Puerto Rico. My name is Jaime Klobuchar.
Jaime Klobuchar. We are the day laborers on the god-awful studio. It's under construction. We are doing the drywall. They left the microphone.
I thought she was pro-immigration and pro-gay.
I want to say Viva la Raza. Wait, is Viva la Raza Cubans?
No, that's everybody. That's the barrio.
Yeah. I thought that was the NWO.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah. Let me speak on this. Olale, olale, Viva la Raza.
Hey, it's the God Awful Gospel Hour. We're recording an episode finally.
Yay.
Sorry, it's been a while.
When's the last time you recorded an episode?
2 weeks ago.
What did we do? Double.
Yeah, we've had studio construction for the God Awful Studios.
Yeah, we have cantilevers now and pulleys and winches and straps. This whole room is being held together like a fat woman about to go to the pool.
It's gonna be the finest sex shop you've ever seen over on.
We're gonna have all the vibrators and the. Have you watched Righteous Gemstones?
I've seen like the first 2 episodes, but I haven't like gotten back to it.
It's our sister show.
Yeah, right. we're loosely related
with him.
Loosely affiliated with the Righteous Gemstones. No, so in the new season, Adam Devine's the little brother. And he's got the little guy. He's got his little friend Keith, and they're going to all the sex shops around town and buying out their entire stock so that dirty, perverted people can't have sex toys. And so, of course, the sex shop people are like, "You guys are our best customers. You're buying everything."
You're watching a Donna Summer documentary. You know Donna Summer?
Bad girls.
Yeah, she's just very sexy.
Sad girl.
Oh yeah, Jason's back with us. Sorry, I didn't introduce you.
Hi,
Friar Jason.
Yep,
it's me.
Only took about a half hour into the documentary for her to go. I was molested by my pastor. I was like, oh, there it is in 5, 4, 3.
Oh, that's sad though.
Molested by the pastor.
Yeah.
That's how you sing so good.
Yeah, I know.
They got to put the finger up your butt, so you go, hi.
Oh, goddamn.
Great art comes out of, difficult circumstances, out of pain.
Yeah.
That's what creates great artists.
Yeah, you got to cut your ear off.
Yeah.
Send it to a girl.
Look at Michael Jackson.
It's suffering. You can hear the suffering. That's why chicken is so good.
Yeah.
You can feel them running away in your teeth. The stress.
It's like, whenever somebody's really, really talented and successful, but they didn't struggle, then they're just an asshole.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan, right? And when he like a huge asshole, like he was just
he's
mean
still
to
a huge
people,
asshole.
And
he's a $3 billion asshole.
Yeah, I know.
An asshole nonetheless. Yeah.
Guys, our generation try to say that we suffered because our dads were mean, and then you talk to your friends, and they're like, "Hey, my dad was mean too," and then you realize everyone's dad was mean, and you're not special.
Well, yeah, because but it's also like, what's the definition of mean for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like my mean would have been, was it like my
Chaos.
dad was emotionally unresponsive or like just
distant,
not distant, but he would just have these little bursts of like drama.
Yeah,
like come in my room.
Oh yeah. Was it on the podcast or was it later? Whatever you said one day, your dad just came in and trashed your room. Was like, now clean it up.
Yeah, I was in 6th grade when he did that, and I was like, "The fuck is happening here? What's going on?"
I didn't realize that you were the child in this situation.
I didn't know. I was raising you, and then someone else is we went to Cancun for, spring break, and we couldn't do this on the beach. Dad was so mean. We had a couple of those in high school, but
my dad used to do that shit. He'd get a pack of cards and be like, "You want to play 52 pickup?" And I'd be like, "My father wants to play with me." And then he'd just spray them out all over the floor and be like, "Pick up all 52 cards."
What dick?
Why is this cool? How is this rad? This is the shittiest dumb thing. Get mom to clean it up.
That's right. I'm not cleaning this.
You realize that what happens is you have to do that to your kid now, right? Just to see, just once.
Yeah.
Just to pass it along.
Generational trauma. Yeah. So they get the same twitch in their
same
bottom
little
left
twitch in your eye.
when they look at a pack of cards. I can't travel because my parents used to beat me with a globe. That was my favorite. That's not mine. I tried watching Tenet again, Jason. I thought of you.
Yeah.
Reading makes me sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched it 3 times. And every time I'm like, this still is too much learning. I can't learn this much stuff.
about like how it works.
Yeah, Nolan and all the explaining, and it's all rich, fancy people going, it's not. It's backwards, it's forwards, and it goes up your ass, not mine. So it's a secret.
You pull the gun out, and then the bullet
anymore.
Comes out of the wall into the gun, and this happens.
It's the same as Bill and Ted hiding the tape recorder in their father's police station over and over again in different places.
Yeah.
Like, because we are going to go back and do... Oh, I've already seen this.
I don't know if that's something I really want to go watch, because I asked the other day, should I go watch Tenet? And Donnie was like, it's the most Christopher Nolan movie ever.
Yeah, it's Christopher Nolan presents Christopher Nolan's Christopher Nolan, a Christopher Nolan film.
It's him inceptioning himself.
Yeah, and like a lot of the concept and the things that they pull off in the movie are really cool.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't care about any of the characters, and you don't care about the plot. Because, except for Robert Pattinson is good, as always. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, but John David Washington, he is a board. He's a plank of wood in that movie.
Did you watch Ballers at all when he was on it?
I watched the first season of Ballers. So I don't know if he was on that.
Yeah, he was good on Ballers.
I've heard he was good on Black Klansman.
Yeah, Black Klansman was good too.
Yeah,
me and Elizabeth Warren were the we were the cheerleaders for Ballers when it came out.
Yeah,
it was so dumb, but it was so good. Like, Dwayne Johnson in expensive suits trying to start a football team.
Yeah.
It's
also addicted to painkillers because he hurts because he used to be a football player.
Well, it's HBO.
Everybody loves Robert.
It's not TV, dude.
Huh?
It's not TV.
It's not TV.
It's HBO.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Robert Pattinson because he's so brooding and dark and disturbed looking. But I think he's got resting, brooding, disturbed face.
Oh, he definitely does.
It's like Tom Cruise. Everybody thinks he's great when he plays an asshole.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think he's just an asshole and he just showed up.
Yeah.
But he's so dreamy.
He's not acting.
He's not working.
He's not
He's
acting.
just being a dick
for
fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got that resting face. So I'm going to see Oppenheimer tomorrow for $4.
Hey,
because it's what would you say it was? 30 movie theater day or something?
National Cinema.
You have to go to Barbie too.
Yeah, you have to go to Barbie too. Which apparently is good.
No, I want to watch it. I just don't want to go to the theater to see it.
It'll be on HBO in like another month.
I know.
Probably.
I keep waiting. I keep waiting for it to hit the high seas, if you know what I'm saying. But I really want to watch it because I was telling Jack about this. I think whenever we had Jack Schutze on, I was like, so you got the first wave of reactions came out, right? Mm-hmm. And it was the let's say left-wing wokish people saying this is an amazing feminist movie, and then you had the more like maybe contrarian reactionary saying this movie hates men.
Yeah.
And then after that first wave came through, then came a little bit of deeper analysis from the point where, well, this actually is saying that things suck for men too, all the way to Ken is actually the hero of the movie and he's awesome and we should all strive to be like Ken. Remember that thing I was talking about? It was our last one, the writer's room dissonance, where I've heard takes where they're like, yeah, Greta Gerwig and all the people who wrote this movie think that they're saying this one thing, but what they're showing us is actually a different thing. And then apparently Ryan Gosling just absolutely steals the show, and he's got songs and all that. So I'm actually want to just sit down and watch it and see what I think about it.
Well, it's was it Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach wrote it.
Yeah, right.
So that's a pretty good pedigree.
I liked Greta Gerwig. I liked Lady Bird.
Lady Bird was fucking great.
I mean, I really like her as a writer. So
there was a stand-up in an open mic that said, my dick is like Barbie. It's cute and it's pink and it's tiny. And I was like, my dick is like Oppenheimer. It's long, it's disturbing, and there's cool explosions at the end. Sloppenheimer.
Yeah.
Sloppy Toppenheimer.
So I guess maybe we call this the South Austin Comedy Studio. The South Austin Broadcast Studio.
Yeah, that's what everyone's doing.
So we've been hanging out at the South Austin Comedy Club.
Okay.
There's
the South Austin Comedy Show.
Yeah, South Austin Comedy Show.
So everything down here, you have to call it the South Austin Podcast Studio.
Yeah, so now this is the South Austin Podcast Studio that we need to come up with a good person that's dedicated to.
The Austin comedy scene is so huge. Leslie.
Leslie's not South Austin, though, is he?
She's everywhere.
He's
in your heart.
He was
if you
everywhere.
Still believe.
Is he in your heart? He's everywhere. Even I know Leslie, So.
Now, that was one of the last trans dudes that was like, I'm a guy. I have a dick. He was not fucking around or trying to make anybody do any pronoun stuff.
There's a whole spectrum.
He could wear the hell out of a sling. Did you see that?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a whole spectrum of dudes in dresses, is all I'm going to say.
So you were saying that Taika Waititi got kind of finger sniffy or was getting a little pretentious with his
little fart sniffy.
Fart sniffy.
Yeah, fart
and
sniffy.
then I noticed that on Res Dogs they had a disclaimer at the beginning of. Do you watch Reservation Dogs?
That's on my list.
It's good, but they had a disclaimer. There's just disturbing images of Indian schools with nuns beating them or whatever that was called.
And
the thing that happened in Canada, supposedly?
It happened everywhere all the time for all the women.
Apparently.
It happened to Halle Berry.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm literally shaking right now. I can't believe I have to tell you this.
Oh, wow.
I've been struggling with this internally for a long time.
Okay.
What's the Yellowstone show had the same thing. 1923, they had the native school.
Yeah.
They didn't know disclaimer. You try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town.
They didn't care.
In the gated community of Atlanta.
Taika Waititi's the one that's like, ooh, was there a warning? We have to have a warning for sensitive.
No, like years ago, whenever he gave an award at, I don't know, the Oscars or something, he did a stupid ass land acknowledgement before it. Like that's the new benediction. Is that what it's called when you do the prayer before?
That's our dedicated to Leslie here because this used to be Mexico. Right. And we're sorry because we stole this.
It's true.
And it's not our land.
Yeah, oh shit, we should start with a land dedication on every single episode.
Al barrio.
Right.
Lo siento mucho.
I mean, that's kind of part of being a pro Lizzo podcast is that you have to do a land acknowledgement at the beginning of every podcast.
She's a human land acknowledgement.
Aww. That's
this is officially a pro Lizzo podcast, so all of those they're all lying. All the accusers are lying, by the way.
Oh, well, you know.
And I can't believe I have to say this.
Yeah.
And I'm literally shaking inside right now. But this is for all the women. Bradley Cooper's Jew face makeup.
Yeah, that's
everybody's mad. The raccoons didn't say shit when he had raccoon face.
Oh, the Leonard Bernstein nose that they're talking about.
That's fine.
It doesn't look. What am I trying to say here? It didn't look bad. It just looks weird on. I mean, maybe weird on Bradley
Cooper's face. It's because it's noticeable.
They should release the 3D scan of Bradley Cooper's face and the grid of Leonard Bernstein's face mesh that they made off of the photos and be like, it's different. We had to do makeup.
Yeah.
This is the difference. 1 centimeter of nose we added. I'm sorry.
At least it didn't look like Jimmy Durante or some shit. Yeah. Like, got the
Jim,
nose go down to his chin.
Like the Roxanne nose.
Yeah.
It's like in that second Borat movie when he goes into a synagogue dressed as a Jew.
Oh, God.
He practically has a baseball bat on the end of his nose.
Oh, my God, yeah. I guess this is if we're talking about movies and stuff, this is the appropriate platform to talk about it. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently, did everyone see The Blind Side back in 2009?
I didn't ever go see it, but I know what happens in it.
All right. Well, so it's a pretty well done movie. You know, I used to tease,
Oscar bait.
It's Oscar bait, but I loved it. Right? It's just I just thought it was great. Well,
it was heartwarming.
It was heartwarming. It had Sandy Bullock in it. Let's do this. We're good, right? Well, apparently it's all a lie. Like the whole thing was like all. Well, of course, it's fabricated for Hollywood, obviously, right? But apparently. The conservatorship for Michael Oher, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. It was all a lie. Like they took they made money off of him, and now he's trying to break the conservatorship and stuff like that. Apparently, they still had a conservatorship.
How old is he? Like he's got to be like 35 now,
he's
right?
Like 47.
Yeah, that's
no,
right.
He's not 47. But
he fell on hard times. He had a kid.
I guess he was.
Get some money.
I guess he was on the Britney Spears conservatorship or something like that. But,
like that's crazy.
But it broke my heart. I was like, the one feel good thing, like that. And remember the Titans,
Yeah, right.
Were you guys around between like Ghostbusters 1 and 2? Did you go to the theater for any of that? Or too little?
I was
between Ghostbusters, like the years of like 84 to 89.
Yeah,
we were going to movies and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Ghostbusters in the cheap theater.
So Ray Parker Jr. did the Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah,
and it was so cool, and we couldn't wait for another one. And then because of how times changed and the parlance. The theme for 2 was
Bobby Brown.
Too hot to
Gumby
handle,
hair,
too cold to hold.
Gonna take control.
Yes.
It was not cool.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters in control. Yeah,
there was no more Germac silk shirt with a chain.
Well, that was
80s
different.
Ray Parker.
That was my joke with Sarah though. It's like every movie needs a Bobby Brown song to go with it. So like with I don't know, throw a movie out there.
Barbie.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. We got Barbie running around in the hole. We got King God. I don't know.
Well, I guess
I was at the perfect age where the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack was when all my friends started listening to hip hop.
No,
because between
Bobby Brown was
between
89.
Right, between
Shit.
84 and 89 is whenever rap really started to take off. So of course they get the Ghostbusters, cartoon version of that, which is Bobby Brown, and remember that song, Spirit. Some people hear it, some people fear it. Spirit. Some people just won't go near it. Yeah, there was it was all rap, and I remember getting the soundtrack to Ghostbusters 2 and being like, this is nothing like the soundtrack for Ghostbusters 1.
Times have changed.
And and there wasn't even that weird theremin music that was in the first Ghostbusters movie and the second one. There was none of that.
No.
Yeah.
I still like Ghostbusters 2, though.
So we were
it's
talking
not a knock
about
on the movie, I don't think.
The only, really, going back to it, Janosch is the best part of
Janosch.
Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, yeah, I like not
He's the only original idea in that whole movie.
Yeah.
Everything else is just, hey, let's do the first movie again.
Do it all over again. Well,
And Bill Murray doesn't care, so he just is phoning it in.
He's getting a paycheck. He don't give a shit.
Both of those DVDs came out on the same day, and we took shrooms and walked to Tower. We bought our first apartment when we were 21 next to the Tower Records because we were tired of asking our parents to drive us to Tower Records. Our whole team.
Because it was right there.
I'm a man now. I'm going to get an apartment with my friends, nice, right next to Tower. I'm going to take shrooms and go to Tower myself.
I remember
we all
Tower.
had jobs, payday. We go to Tower.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to get Ghostbusters, and we got a bunch of other DVDs. And then my buddy Matt was at the counter. Ghostbusters wasn't on the shelves; they hadn't stocked it yet.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Can we get Ghostbusters too?" And they were like, "Yeah." They threw it in the bag, and we left. We got home. We didn't have Ghostbusters. We had Ghostbusters 2. And we were like, fuck. And we started watching it, and we were shrooming, and we were like, this is not right. We have to go back. We got to get Ghostbusters 1.
I vividly remember buying I bought Ghostbusters 1 on Blu-ray when it came out at Circuit City. And then I remember buying Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on Blu-ray when it came out, I think 10 years ago almost, And I don't know. There's something good about putting a movie you're looking forward to, and it's on. I mean, I don't mind streaming, and so I was talking with Donnie about this. I don't mind streaming, but there's something about
the tactile feeling.
The tactile feeling, the artwork. Throwing it in, you're just like, this is the height of luxury.
Yeah.
You can watch Ghostbusters anytime.
I don't watch movies. I screen films.
Oh, whoa. Mr. Fancy with his gold toilet.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Ahsoka girl getting stabbed and living, and it doesn't make sense that somebody got run through in Star Wars.
I'm sure you're not watching the latest Star Wars slop.
I told the wife, the wife, that sounds bad.
Old ball and chain.
The old ball and chain. I was like, I need to talk to Josh because he is my Star Wars source, and he's probably watched it, and he'll tell me if it's good or not.
It's good. It's a slow starter, but it's got a lot of good Star Wars if you can parse through the celebration of female actresses and their talent being
stoic female actresses
completely overshadowed by Ray Stevenson, R.I.P.
Yeah,
but Ray Stevenson.
It's got a lot of good ships, a lot of good
he's
robots.
He's yet another guy who escaped Order 66, and he used to be a Jedi, but he's not. But he's not dark side, or he's not Sith. He's gray.
There's all gray now.
Yeah, he's kind of a gray Jedi.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
cool.
trans message for bi pronoun.
He's in the middle of the spectrum.
Whatever you want to be, it's fine.
Yeah, but it's the last thing he did was Ahsoka. So what I'm reading is with 3 lines in the first 2 episodes, he completely steals the show because he's Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He's the Punisher.
Yeah, he's Titus Pulo from Rome.
But he was great in the Thor movies too. I quite enjoyed him.
Was he one of the Warriors 3?
But yeah, you had messaged me about that girl getting stabbed and living, and then I was looking at Reddit, and I saw a headline about Ahsoka having fragile elbows, and I was like, what the fuck is this now?
What is this?
She has fragile elbows? I forgot that I'm subscribed to Hot Toys, and they're complaining about an action figure.
What the fuck?
What kind of criticism of the TV show is this?
I still wanted to comment and be like, how dare you say that about her? She's strong. Well, you can't say that a toy has fragile elbows.
So yeah, now under Disney Star Wars or Kathleen Kennedy or whoever, apparently if you just get stabbed in the chest with a lightsaber, it's fine. So they did it with Kylo Ren. They did it with the dumb chick from Obi-Wan Kenobi multiple times in that show. And now they just did it with one of which character? I don't even know. Sabine from the new one.
She was pregnant, so that was just like an abortion.
Quickly. Wouldn't the stab wound it's hot
it cauterizes?
Yeah, wouldn't it cauterize?
Yeah.
I feel like that would.
Then you have a cool piercing, like having your ears gauged.
Yeah. I was like,
I wonder where she's going with that.
Well,
That's interesting.
it's nobody's thinking. there's no thought that goes into this stuff.
Because Qui-Gon died.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
Qui-Gon Jinn died
Yeah.
from a stab, and now there have been multiple examples of people having the exact same injury, and just a couple days later they're fine.
They're fine.
Did y'all get
Just a
spoiled
hole
on
in
that?
my chest. I'm fine.
Did you get spoiled on that by reading the soundtrack?
No.
I did.
Qui-Gon's noble end.
Because I was
Yeah,
working at
same.
Hastings whenever it came out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I got because I am not cool. I was always into soundtracks, so of course as soon as the episode 1 soundtrack released, I bought it, and I remember standing there with this jewel case while I was working and looking at the back and seeing the title Qui-Gon's Noble End.
Oh, you spoiled yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I might try Ahsoka though. I mean, I like Rosario Dawson. She's great.
I like it. I don't ask much from Star Wars. I'm not asking for Shakespeare. I want to see some ships and some explosions and some robots and some monsters, and
Sure.
I'll be happy. There's a lot of stuff from the trailers that hasn't happened yet in the show. There's space whales, which they've been hinting at. If you watched the end of Rebels, did you watch Rebels at all?
No, I didn't. There's a lot of Star Wars. There's a lot. Speaking of Inceptions, there's a lot of levels of Star Wars that I haven't haven't had time to get into. The last deep dive of Star Wars I did was like when Marvel rebooted they got this Marvel license or the Star Wars license. And it's some pretty good. Like some of their issues are pretty good. It started out well. I didn't really stay on after that just because I had other shit I was doing.
I think they're using Grand Admiral Thrawn to reboot Star Wars. Because the main guy from Rebels, at the end of Rebels, Ezra, used these space whales that warp, that can go light speed, and he zerped Grand Admiral Thrawn to a long time ago, in even galaxy
and
farther
galaxy
away.
Well, good if we're not redoing the same bullshit over and over again.
Yeah, no more Tatooine.
Let's do it. Let's do some new shit.
I don't need to see Tatooine like I don't need to see The Wire. I know Baltimore sucks.
You
I
just
don't
put
need
the
to watch
Blu-ray in
Tatooine
if you
because I'm
want
from
Tatooine.
Texas.
Yeah.
I'm in Tatooine right now.
I want. Yeah.
We're living in a desert planet.
I think the end all be all of any Star Wars is that what I've said to you. Star Wars died with CGI Jabba.
Don't you dare.
The special edition is where we realized.
Don't you bring
They told us what was going to happen with the special edition with the solo.
Don't you bring my Jabba into this? You know how I feel about that. I'm very defensive of my son. So
your man's.
That's my man. Because it's funny because like that's when they used to show Star Wars all the time on USA when I was a kid, like the Thanksgiving marathons and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't get into it till like I had friends get into it, like, when the special editions came out. So, Star Wars Special Edition was my first like
I don't
exposure.
understand that. How?
Well, like,
you're not the only one. I have multiple friends who are like, yeah, I was never into Star Wars, and I was like, how? Like,
you know why I have a different perspective on the prequels? Because that was the first time my wife watched Star Wars.
Like the Beastie Boys and Apple Pie and baseball.
Yeah, we watched those first before I showed her, New Hope and Empire and Return of the Jedi. And of course she loved those, right? But, we see there's holes in, Attack of the Clones, of course. It's been beat to death, we see that, but it's not terrible.
It is.
Well, I mean, it's not.
So
I've
bad.
seen worse.
The prequels are so bad.
No, I guess I'm just saying I'm an apologist for it, But
it kind of went the same way with Batman. It was cool at the beginning with Tim Burton and legit for like 2 movies. And then it started to slowly get worse and more cheesy with Star Wars and Batman. Like they got Shoemaker and the prequels and Return of the Jedi started to get more cheesy, and then Val Kilmer, and then they went dark like with Andor and Batman Begins. And now it's just all over the place and crazy. There's a bunch of different Batman stuff. There's Lego Batman.
The thing about Batman is, though, that you can, depending on which one you're watching, you can separate that in your mind because it's a completely different interpretation. And Star Wars is supposed to be all one contiguous universe, and that's the problem. So let's take a break real quick. And
I saw you fingering my knobs over here.
No. Stop saying Star Wars is good. I'm going to turn you off.
And that is my romantic advice for
Life
the
is
day.
like a box of chocolates.
So this is Jason's Polly Hour.
I like my podcast like I like my penis, experiencing slow and steady growth.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We've got 50 YouTube subscribers now.
Hey-o.
We've got 320 followers on TikTok. We're trying to get them to come on over and listen to the podcast, but they're all young men. We love our little boys on TikTok. Our listeners, we're
The boys of TikTok.
influencing young thought. We're gonna have a legion. What's a legion? Is 10,000. Once we have 10,000,
how much a legion is?
I looked it up.
Is it?
That means we are legion. If we have 10,000, we can be dispossessed into a group of pigs.
What's a fleet? What would be a fleet?
A fleet of arseholes.
A fleet of...
I don't know. What you're talking about? Vehicles?
No, I
Or
meant like if
people.
you had a fleet of followers. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know the nomenclature.
Well, someday we'll
I
have
think,
a producer.
I think that should be the name. You know how there's like a murder of crows, and there's like a name that's for multiple of something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe fleet should be multiple, like a fleet of misogynists.
A gaggle of mouth breathers.
Yeah. A cudgeon.
A cudgeon. There you go.
A fleet of MAGAs.
So by city, we have listeners in Mountain View, California, which Donnie said is an aggregate of Google. We got Austin, San Marcos, Overland Park. I don't know where that is.
Kansas?
What's up, Overland Park? We got Wilmington, Chestnut Hill, Dallas, Finnsnes. I think that's the one in Denmark. Charleston, West Virginia, maybe Cherry Hill, and so these are. Hi guys, I don't know where you are. Seymour, I don't know where Seymour is. I'm glad you're listening. Thank you for joining us.
Seymour where?
Seymour, Texas?
Seymour Tits. I have no idea.
Seymour, Texas. That's where
The map has a bunch of weird dots in weird places.
Okay.
You know who's in Seymour, Texas now?
Seymour Butts.
No, Harry Knowles.
Oh hell yeah!
Well, I mean, he kind of had to. He kind of like got caught cheating on his wife.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
You know, he had to run for the hills.
A friend of ours was listening to a podcast about him and Ain't It Cool News. Apparently there's one of those kind of, not necessarily true crime, but like one of those, I'm going to dig into it because after everything happened.
Like Peasies.
That sounds fascinating, actually. I would like to listen to that.
You should listen to Patrick Soroy's show, Lie, Cheat, Steal. He was on here.
They get into like how he started Ain't It Cool News and all that. And they go through the whole thing, and then they get to the accusations against him. And then the guy, he called the guy who is doing the podcast. He's like, "Hey, I heard you doing a podcast about me. You want to talk to me?"
Ooh.
Whoa.
And that's
Say
where
that
he
shit
is
to my
now.
face,
He's in
motherfucker.
Seymour, Texas. My dad was born in Seymour, Texas. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It is like 3 intersections of a town.
Is it? Where's it close to?
Blink, you missed
Haskell, maybe?
Damn.
it. You ever been to Blink, you missed it, Texas? You just
Blink,
driving
you
on the
missed
highway.
Yeah, that's where. So I don't know what the name of this podcast is, but it's about Harry Knowles and Ain't It Cool News.
I guess is he divorced now? I guess.
I don't know.
I
I have
don't know. I have
like
to
that
listen
is
to
literally
this.
all I know. Is one of the last times I hung out with a friend of ours, and we were in his car, and on his Google Maps it said directions to Seymour, Texas.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What are you doing looking up Seymour, Texas?" And he was like, "Funny you ask." And he basically told me what I just told you about the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Have you been to any of Harry Knowles' like shindigs when he was running stuff, or
like Button-Umathon or whatever?
Not, but maybe that, or like any of his like screenings or anything like that.
I wanted to.
I
read about
think I saw him a couple times at a couple like convention-y type events around here, but I never talked to him or anything. And
I think
he's in a wheelchair at that point.
Yeah, he's had a lot of he's tried stomach surgery.
trying to see more butts
He's just
in the wheelchair.
God. He just struggles, But I got to go see the social when I first moved here. I got to go see The Social Network before it came out.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
With Aaron Sorkin and Jesse, what's his name? Jesse, God, I can't remember.
Yeah, Eisenberg. It's some
Jesse
Jewish.
Eisenberg. There you go.
Wait, was the screening that they were at?
Is it really
Yeah.
Eisenberg? I was just saying
Jesse
Jewish
Eisenberg
sounds.
and Andrew Garfield. Yes.
David Fincher wasn't there, was he?
David Fincher
Jewish
was not
noises.
there.
Oh, that'd have been awesome if Fincher.
I did help David Fincher with his laptop, though. Remember his internet connection? I told you that story.
You actually had to talk to him.
I talked to David Fincher
Nice.
for
Yeah,
like
he's
5 minutes.
Talked to David
Ooh, I
Fincher
have a
at
book about him in my bathroom.
at one of the companies that we worked at.
He couldn't get through the Mac wall garden with his Mac, so I had to help him out.
So that I've told you the George Carlin story. That probably the worst person to talk to George Carlin at the call center at that company that we worked for.
Yeah, I
because
remember.
George Carlin couldn't get his brand new MacBook Air on whenever MacBook Airs first
What
got.
if it was Nick Mullen that took that call?
Dude, if it had been, it wasn't that company, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, but if Nick could have had an amazing conversation with him instead of being like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Carlin, I'm just very nervous talking to you." That's what we got from the guy who
the bubble in your throat.
Yeah,
voice.
luckily I didn't. Yeah. Luckily I didn't do that. I didn't find out it was David Fincher until I got the email on my ticket. You can put ticket notes. Like that. And it was like, Mr. Fincher has a very important movie showing tomorrow. I think this was around the time he was doing Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm not sure.
That's great.
But like at the bottom it was like.
Do you remember what hotel it was?
It was like in Australia or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it's funny. It was like the assistant, comma David Fincher.
Nice.
It was like I didn't know you could do that. Mike
I would
Gaynor.
nerd out. I'd
BA,
try to throw little Easter eggs into the conversation in there. But how many cables do you have? 7 cables in your house?
I don't want to start a fight club if you can't get into the internet. Something stupid like that.
So I can tell how good we're doing on TikTok if the views go above 222. I post 3 video clips on there a day, and they all, if the aggregate is in charge of them just getting sludge piped into people's eyes, each one gets 222 views for some reason, and you can only do 3 a day, or else it stops getting pushed into the yeah. So 3 times 222 is 666. So Satan is obviously Chinese by that logic.
Right.
TikTok has a 666 algorithm.
Great job, girls.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the Antichrist is going to be Chinese?
Yeah.
That is exactly what Trump has been saying.
He's going to be talking shit like those dudes in bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, there y'all go by go to hell. And we're influencing lots of young men. It's not any hotter in Texas. It's just more annoying every year. I don't think it's gotten hotter. It was 100 for 100 days when I first moved here in 2005. It was 111 in 2018 when we were working on downtown roads.
Yeah.
It's still
a heat index.
I mean, I can't. If it's 100 or 108, I'm still not going outside either way. That's fucking hot.
But if it's 100 or 108, then your air conditioning might be going. It's more expensive.
But the more years you go, the more annoying it gets.
More people
I don't want to do this again next year. Jesus Christ. So that's why the complaining gets louder every year.
Every year at our house, it's a waiting game to see if the AC is going to go out or not.
That's kind of like this is exactly what I need. The next thing that's going to happen.
Get a service plan. Get a $300 service plan. They'll come check on it 3 times a year.
Yeah,
there's companies that do that.
That's fucking smart.
I mean, they'll try to upsell you, but included in the plan is them, cleaning it and blowing out your whatever hot bars.
Blowing out your hot bars?
Yeah, fleshing out your hot bars.
Yeah, I like how you brought that back to gaming. Very nice. I appreciate that.
So yeah, we live in
your hot bars in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Much better.
We can put screenshots on the Twitter, on the X, so we can burn their flames.
I'm never calling it X.
Oh, you're not.
I will never. It will be Twitter forever.
You're a hot mess.
Yeah, it's the it's the Office article, the Office meme. Whenever Andy comes back after anger management therapy, and he's like, "I'm going by Andrew now," and Jim's like, "I'm not going to call you that."
Call you that.
Yeah, I'm not calling Twitter X. You're going to be Twitter forever.
Andy.
So it's not Texas anymore. It's Tattoo X's because we have 2 sons. And then we live on a desert planet here. It's different from everywhere else. And someone explained to me the heat dome, how it works. It's basically the same as if you ever sit outside on a hot night when it's dank and there's no breeze coming and you fart, and then you have to fucking live in that fart for 5 minutes. It doesn't go anywhere. That's your own heat dome.
The dome of fart mist.
You made your own heat dome of it. And that's
love
what's happening to Texas. Is
All
we're in a nasty bubble of dankness that just won't move. Did you guys get those alerts in the middle of the night about the cop injury?
No.
Yeah,
I'm out in Manor, so no.
About it wasn't Houston, right?
Yeah, Harris County.
Okay, so you never got that.
No, dude, I turn alerts off like that shit on my phone.
No, this was an alert. Like I have alerts hidden. I don't get the child abduction alerts. This was a special alert.
No, I didn't know
This
that.
was, hey, everybody in Texas, a guy in Houston shot a cop.
Yeah.
Therefore, you all need to know about this because we are the most important people in the world.
Yeah. He dropped a fork on his foot at the donut store.
Yeah.
It's an emergency.
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and it went to
weird.
everybody. Like, I don't get the child alerts. I don't get any of that kind of stuff. But this is it was basically like a reverse 911 action almost.
If my phone goes off at that hour, somebody better be fucking
It was in the middle of the night, too,
You
wasn't
better
it?
be dead. Show me a dead cop for that thing going
Yeah.
off.
9
in the middle of
o'clock.
the
That's my
goddamn
boundary.
Yeah, I want to see his crying wife and children.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to have to see to make this worth it.
No, I didn't know they did that. Wow.
Well, they did it this time, and it was one of those. It's one of those pretty transparent, blatant things. It was kind of one of those.
You defunded us, so we're dying.
Yeah, you you're either with us or against us.
Yeah.
It's very
you're further,
Mm-hmm.
get it.
is very Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are my enemy. From their perspective, it's the cops that are being injured.
Oh goodness.
From my perspective, it's the criminals that are wrong.
But yeah, I got a follow-up message after the blue alert of the injured cop that said dangerous person in your area. So I thought it was a separate thing. It was midnight, so I got up and
No, it
went.
was the same thing.
Yeah, I guess I just went and slept in the living room just
Uh-huh.
because I didn't know how in the area
With your
they
back?
meant the
Yeah.
area they meant Texas.
Oh Jesus Christ! So you're like cradling your back.
What do I got to worry about the wildfires? I live in Sydney.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care about the outback.
Right.
Why do I need to know about all that shit? So Putin's advisor is saying the U.S. is using brainwashing to make gay Ukrainian super soldiers.
Hell yeah, dude. That
Awesome.
sounds awesome.
Per LGBTnation.com. So I don't know who's pushing this aggregate upon us, but
That's awesome.
That sounds like the next Marvel movie.
Yeah.
The gay Ukrainian super soldier with one arm as a dildo.
Yeah.
The winter dildo soldier arm guy.
Someone concept drawed that.
And Obama's ex-girlfriend revenge porned him on his old letters.
What?
Because she said I think about having gay sex all the time or
He
something.
said, I think I make love to a man every day in the imagination. I think by
What?
imagination he meant butthole.
Dude, how?
When,
dude.
what are you? Is this for real?
Yeah.
Holy
She's kink shamed the president.
Yeah. That's
How
not
dare
nice.
you?
Don't kink shame.
Kink shame our black president.
Dude,
Kinks.
how funny would it be if it turned out that that conspiracy theory was true, that Obama was actually gay and that Michelle was actually a man?
He was probably trying to get pussy. He was like, yeah, I think about
He's probably just trying to. Yeah, he's probably doing one of those I'm so deep, baby.
yeah.
kind
It's
of.
the 70s. Oh, I think about gay shit, folks. Sure. I think about it all the time in the butthole, in imagination. Where did they come up with first world country?
I don't know. When did you first start hearing about first world, third world?
You never hear about second world. It's always
Second
first
world
or
is
third.
Russia.
Okay.
I didn't start hearing about it until I guess
Second world is
2010s.
Yeah.
It sounds like a
As a
bratty
phrase.
child. We're a country first.
Yeah,
We're first.
Well, it sounds like
I guess
What's first about it?
better. Like
Yeah.
America.
We weren't-
America is obviously a first.
We're the oldest country in the world.
Any country where they're white and they speak English.
Yeah.
That is first
That's
world.
we are first in line
Yeah.
for the donuts.
Yeah.
that's right.
French people are allowed to be in there, but really, we know how that is.
Speaking of murdering people, I had to spend some time at the Verizon store this week. And
Oh no.
every time I go in there, it's just they're obvious ginks. They're just trying to upsell you tech
Mm-hmm.
and trick you into getting the dessert with the appetizer of the phone and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And usually I go in there to pay my bill
Mm-hmm.
and get done with it because there's a delay if you do it online and it hits the bank weird on a
Yeah,
weird
yeah, yeah.
week and I'll pay it on Wednesday and it won't go through till Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not ready for that $200 to be gone then and it
Mhm.
fucks me up. So I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go in there and pay it. And every time they're like, "How you doing?" So I wanted to add a line and get a phone because I've got a kid getting older. So I asked the guy about it. And he was like, "Yeah, come sit over here." And I was like, "No, I don't want to sit down."
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you get them. I'm just
how they trick you.
asking you one quick
You are
question.
not getting me into a prone position.
Yeah. Stop trying to get me into your weird Cosby room.
That's right.
I'm not going to sit down and talk to you. So any way you can avoid going to the cell phone store. And all the online discounts sound great.
Mm-hmm.
And all the radio commercials sound great. There's all these deals. AT&T doesn't charge for this, that. But then you get in the store and they're like, bend over. That's what the desk is for you to bend over and get fucked.
You got to pay the city tax. You got to pay the sitting down at the AT&T tax.
I was telling you about the two men I admire most earlier, Robin Williams and Hunter Thompson. They both self-Kevorkianed themselves out of the worst part of life.
Mm-hmm.
Self-Kevorkian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They found out they had something terminal when they were in their 70s, and they were like, "Yeah, no, I've."
What was
I
Robin
think you
Williams
just
in
call
his
it. I
70s?
think you just Kevorkian yourself. Well, I guess if you Kevorkian yourself, that means you have to have somebody help you, right?
Yeah, you got to have someone help you.
So self-Kevorkian is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
The snake that eats its own tail.
I didn't know Robin Williams had something terminal though.
Oh no, well, it didn't have something. It had something that was going to get really bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's been an article written recently about what really happened with all that,
Mm-hmm.
and he was already to a point where
Mm-hmm.
it was horrible to live with. That's why
Aw.
he did it. I mean, it was going to be a really bad. It was going to be a really bad prognosis or
And
whatever.
he's a public person, and if your brain is going, you don't want to be a public person.
Yeah.
You have to have a will or a trust with your younger family to say, "Tell me the safe word when I've lost it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so that I I'm trusting you to tell me to stop going out in public now.
I assume Bruce Willis had some type of situation.
I was just about
like
to bring that
yeah.
up. Yeah. It feels like Bruce Willis would have something like that.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Dude, Bob Barker died today on the day that we were recording this. You forget he was still alive.
99 years old, closest to 100 without going
Everyone
over.
made that joke today. I was going to make that joke, and then someone beat me to it. I was like,
No,
God damn it.
My brother made a really obvious joke. It was like, it was an aneurysm that had been gone untreated for 20 years after that fight he had with Happy Gilmore.
Oh, no.
That was a good joke.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Aneurysms were getting closer and closer together. It goes, dit. I did the devil emoji with "come on down."
Bob Barker, come on down.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. I mean, when did he retire? Because Drew Carey took his place, right?
I was like back in like early
mid 2000s. Yeah. And even then, like he was really old. That's respectable, dude. To live to 99.
Yeah.
You know he was fucking too.
Mm-hmm.
You know he was getting all that. He was getting
He
lots
was a
of
pimp. He was
strange.
a pimp on the show.
Yeah.
Him and Pat Sajak probably used to compare notes.
They had a little
Compare
showcase
consent
showdown.
videos
You
on
know,
their phones.
There needs to be a comedian that gets the Bob Barker microphone and brings it himself, and he's just the Bob Barker microphone guy. It's a good gimmick, right?
I love
that
the
big
Bob.
long,
Yes.
that big long one with the tiny little thing at the end.
He had that
of it.
since the 70s, dude.
Hell
when he
yeah,
first went
dude.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
The Oppenheimer microphone, long, dark, skinny.
Explosion at the end.
Cool thing
Explosion
at the end of it.
Yeah.
Nice segue. I like that.
Nice callback.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was talking to you, Donnie, the other day about having been raised well. I feel
right.
We were, upper middle class, I guess, or upper somewhere between middle class and upper middle. I'm not sure. I think the line is if you had a pool.
Yeah.
In the backyard.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. No, I straddle that line perfectly because we didn't have a pool.
Yeah, we barely had a pool. We had a lot of friends with pools.
Right, but then my mom, my stepdad, and my mom, whenever I was a senior in high school, decided to get a freaking white trash ass above ground pool.
Nice.
Hey, we had good times in that pool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But it was great. It was really awesome.
We did
but
the same thing
still,
too.
Like, having an above ground pool, there's that's like, are you garbage, right?
But you still have the bills, right? The water bills. You just don't have the install.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the water bills would still be the same because
you still have to fill it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely an are you garbage question. Is like, did you have a pool growing up, or did you have an above ground pool coming up? Have you ever watched Are You Garbage?
No,
but you should. I'll have to send you a link to it.
Okay.
Qualifier questions. Do you ever have to drink milk with dinner? Do you ever have powdered milk in your house? All these,
Are you garbage or are you high class? Is basically, and they have just comedians and people.
Did you eat Fruit Loops or King Vitamin?
Yeah, right. What was it? Was the Madios or whatever what's the pirate themed
okay, so there was
malto meal version? The big giant. Did you have cereal in a bag or did you have cereal in a box?
So you had.
Did your mom have the Tupperware thing with the flip lids?
Yeah, he had the good cereal. That was the Kellogg's and the General Mills, right?
Yeah,
he had the middle ground. That was Marshmallow Maze. Now it's a little different. Like it used to be, if you got the store brand, that was white trash, right?
Those are horrible. They taste like.
But now if you get
the Hill Country Fare
HEB
because
cereal,
it's in a bag and not a box. They took all the cardboard from the box and put it in the cereal.
Put it in cereal, but you get that. It's fine. However, when we were growing up, when we'd help with food drives and stuff like that, boy, they had what was it? Like a joke. It was called King Vitamin.
Yeah.
It was the most flavorless corn cereal I've ever eaten in my life. You put it in milk, it would go and turn to a sponge. We
were allowed to put honey on our cereal, but not sugar. So
really?
When I was little, I didn't know what candy was. They kept us away from we had Carob Tiger's Milk bars.
Oh, we did not.
We had raisins, golden raisins. I thought were like Skittles to me when I was little because I didn't know. As soon as we got an allowance and we could walk to the store, we both got 6 cavities.
Oh,
yeah.
We were like fucking bulk Swedish fish by the pound.
Yeah.
And we ate half of them by the time we got home. And then we just take gelatin shits.
I just remember one time. I guess this is the garbage thing, right? Like one time I remember being in 2nd grade and I was hungry and my parents were taking naps and I was like, well, fuck this. I'm gonna make my own. I took the fucking I made my own hot dogs in the fridge and opened a can. Actually, 2nd grade. Made my own hot dogs cold and just ate cold like a garbage person, Yeah. So, I was like, that explains so much of how I've grown up and my decisions now.
So my friend Rachel's on the apps. She's doing Tinder stuff or whatever.
We're gonna have to bleep that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rachels.
Cut that.
Hey, Rachel.
she's on a special one. It's called Feels. It's about BDSM people, kinky stuff.
Oh my god!
So you can find
it's
each
called
other.
Feels.
I think so.
Holy shit.
A friend told me. I don't know anything about the BDSM apps myself, but apparently, so she started talking to this guy, and they're trying to figure each other out if they wanted to get together, meet up,
Did
whatever.
you say they're trying to
slap each
figure it
other,
out or finger
put
it out?
office clips on each other's
It's all the
nipples or
same.
whatever they're
Oh,
doing
okay.
nowadays? Put a paper clip up your
Yeah.
ass. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the kids are doing these days. Felching. But
cheesing.
she asked the guy, who was your crush when you were little? Like, what celebrity woman did you like when you were younger? And he was like, I don't talk about pedophilia. And she was like, whoa.
Wait, what?
Everybody goes hot button on that from anywhere so quickly. Like, I'm asking about you. We're adults now. About your first sexual feelings. Maybe we could cosplay or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
And he just immediately was like, you're a pedophile. You're talking about me when I'm a child. That's not good.
That's really dumb.
This is not the BDSM app. Tinder is not the place to
don't-
get
I'm
mad
so-
about.
That's not where you find the well-adjusted people who have.
I'm putting my head on my head here. I'm so lost. Like, wait a minute. She was asking what she was they were attracted to when they were young, and he interpreted it as, "I'm attracted to you when you were young." That's how she's interpreting it.
She's like, I'm gonna think about
He
you
was like,
while you were a
Yeah,
kid.
don't ask
Yeah.
about me when I was a child. 'Cause you're talking about
stupid.
children.
Get me
You're
the fuck out of here.
Can you have a memory?
Okay,
You can't even have a memory.
Wow.
Yeah, what? It's time for Clown World to blow up.
Jesus Christ.
It's eating its own tail.
It
Pop
is.
will eat itself. You like
Okay,
that, man?
so let's take that. For me, Andy from the Goonies.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, goddamn! If I could have her right now. Wait, no. How old was she then? Was she 18? Okay, yeah. So if she was an adult,
That wasn't Martha Plimpton, right? It was the
no,
other
that
one.
was the other one.
Okay.
The one from Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
In Lucas, he liked
Yeah, yeah,
her,
yeah.
but she was, of course, all hooking up with Charlie Sheen.
I was Daisy Duke. I had a crush on Daisy Duke when I was 6. So I'm talking about a 6-year-old boy with a beautiful, glistening boner. Just a young, supple. It's me. I'm allowed to talk about myself when I was young, right? Can I remember that?
You can talk about yourself.
Describing a 6-year-old boy with a boner, but it happens to be
I was-
my son. That boy was me. It's a country song.
I was thinking
Well-
of Andy from the Goonies in her cheerleader costume, and I was
Donnie, I don't like to talk about pedophilia type things.
Yeah,
So please,
let's not talk about
If you
pedophilia.
could stop, it's gross.
I'm trying to think.
You're
who-
victimizing
I'm
me.
trying to BDSM date you right now.
I'm trying to think who mine was. Like,
Yeah, was the earliest woman that you were like, ooh, earliest girl, whatever.
What
Well,
made your bird twitch first time?
my bird twitch.
made
I-
my
Hey, a little something, something. Go,
Actually, before it was Andy, it might have been Ginny Lewis.
the
in
devil.
the
When did
Wizard.
the devil talk to you?
Ginny Lewis might be Ginny Lewis and Andy from the Goonies. They line up like really close.
Oh, I know who my first one was. You want to know who it was?
It's not a cartoon, is it?
No, come on, I'm not a monster.
Is it anime character? Is it?
You
Who
know,
was your first waifu?
She was in the Goonies as well. You know who it was?
Who?
Anne Ramsey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ooh baby.
Who's Anne Ramsey?
She's the one talks like this. She had, the bad guy in the Goonies.
Throw
Mama from the train.
I win. No, not Anne Ramsey. I don't know. Like
Talking
I
about it.
always felt weird, like around friends and stuff like that. Like it was like, oh, it's like she's a fine motherfucker and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just always felt weird doing
Yeah.
that. Not like well,
Jason's
I
like-
respect women.
Yeah,
And I don't do
I was
that.
like,
Not-
Jason's like, I'm a male feminist. I don't like to.
no, not in that
never
way.
gotten
It
pussy,
just
right,
it
so I don't know.
never really like came up. Like it never was never.
No, seriously, come on. There's got to be. Just think of it. Think
No,
like,
no,
think
I'm
back
thinking-
To, think
I'm-
back to the movies. Think back to
I'm
the TV.
thinking, it'd be if for real, it'd be like Catherine Zeta-Jones. I
There
know
you
that's
go.
late.
That's late though.
That's
Like,
late. If I had to
He
go
doesn't want
early,
to talk about a little boy.
I mean, there's no Princess Leia in the slave
He
costume.
thought of
There's
someone
none
when
of
he was
that.
18.
Yeah.
no, because remember I didn't get to Star Wars
He's
till I was like in high
Right.
school,
I mean, but
right?
The equivalent, right? The equivalent.
Yeah. I guess it had to be like I don't know. I mean, it's generic, but like,
Kelly Kapowski.
There you go. Yeah, there you
No
go.
Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Well, maybe Jesse Spano a little bit.
Oh, you're a Jesse guy.
I liked Jesse.
You're like, come on, Mama. Yeah.
well, if everything's continuity, right? Like she graduated high school.
Yeah, became a stripper.
She became a
yeah,
stripper
right.
and then went back to Bayside.
Yeah.
And that,
So my wife is reading a book about the Donner Party. Have you heard about this?
The Donner Party?
Yes.
Or the
Yeah,
book-
we all know that story,
Oregon
right?
Trail. I don't
Yeah.
know idea.
You didn't know about
She
the
tells
Donner
me about it
Party?
all the time.
Yeah, I learned about that in like middle school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
made
guess
a
they
game
ate
off
each
of it.
other.
Yes, they had no choice.
They ate each other a little sooner than is comfortable. Like they had other options. They could have foraged for meat and berries, but they started looking at each other's thigh legs and going,
like, "That's meat."
I was asking her how many people were in the Donner Party, and she was like, "Well, at what point?" And I was like, "Yeah, dinner party of 4, 3, now 2,
now 2, now 1.
We just need a 2-top for this one." There's a Tim Hortons coming to Austin. East
Really?
side. Yeah, we're getting our own poutine and gravy and all that shit.
Do they really sell poutine?
I mean, it might be a gay, fake, sold out Bill Miller.
Yeah.
Wannabe.
Well, when we were talking about Chili's earlier, apparently that's the same thing with Tim Hortons. Is that people like 20 years ago, Tim Hortons was the most amazing thing, but now it's trash.
Yeah.
Well, like once your profits start sagging, you got to figure out how to revitalize the menu. You know? So
It's the same with Whataburger. They got bought out. I mean, Tim Hortons shouldn't be here. That's a Canadian place.
Yeah, that's wrong.
For them to be here means somebody sold out, and it's probably not going to be as good. But that food travels well. It's not like fish.
It's just donuts,
yeah,
right?
they can send gravy down
Donuts
here
and
from Canada.
coffee.
I'll eat
Donuts
it.
and poutine and
I'll eat
coffee.
some Canadian
do they really
truck
do
gravy.
poutine, or is that just a Canadian stereotype we're throwing on it?
Well, yeah, and it's like you can't get a business license in Canada
Thanks for
unless you
putting
serve
things in
poutine.
perspective,
Are you
Jason.
fucking serious?
No, I'm not serious.
It's like here in Texas, you can't you don't have salsa or anything like
It's
that.
like
so
you can't have more than 4 dildos in Texas. But in Canada, it's like if you open a restaurant, you have to
How
serve
are they
poutine.
gonna know? Do you have a dildo punch card?
Well, one of the best things about fries is that they're crispy. Like I get them double fried, the boardwalk fries. I like when you go to a seafood place and they fry the fries in the seafood batter. They're supposed to be crispy. So I don't understand putting gravy on fries. It kind of takes away from. It's like putting a queso on a chimichanga. Like I ordered it fried so I could have a crispy sensation.
If you could dip it, it's different. If you come in, if it's fried and then they put it on top, I agree with you. It's like eating a wet blanket.
Yeah, but if you ask for that at Tim Hortons, they're gonna be like, "We put the gravy on there, hey?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You can't do that." Fries. The instructions are in the name. Your toast.
Toast, fries.
Yeah.
Fries,
little
toast.
same thing. Yeah.
It's not hard. I went to Pluckers and they gave me soggy fries, and that's the only time I've ever done a Yelp review like a Karen.
Like you had one job.
That's
fry the
depressing.
fries. Did you ever have any of the Star Wars cutaway ship books of the cross sections?
I never had the cross sections.
They've collected them all into one big one now.
Oh, sweet.
So you can get them all.
Oh, really?
So now you can see where in the Millennium Falcon Lando Calrissian puts his penis, so he can still fuck his girlfriend. It's because she's part of the ship now.
Not canon.
Yeah.
Not canon.
And there's those hot toys that I was talking about with Ahsoka's elbows. That's the only way you can see anatomically how they reattach Darth Maul's legs. If you buy at the Darth Maul with the robot feet, you can pick the Barbie dress up and see.
Wait, they brought
See
Darth
what
Maul
parts
back with
robot.
robot feet?
How did they get the top half to the bottom half?
Did I miss something?
Yeah, you missed a lot of Dave Filoni bullshit is what you missed.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, we got to take a break. This
right.
has been a long segment.
Okay.
Be right back.
We watched Starship Troopers the other day.
Fucking love Starship Troopers.
Speaking of crushes, I think your roommates was Denise Richardson.
Yeah, and it's
We were going
because
out.
of the movie.
Wild
Well,
things.
so Denise Richardson has some nice boob stories
Personalities.
because it was Wild Things came out and Denise Richards took her top off in that, and there was that threesome between her and Matt Dillon and Nev Campbell.
Hell yeah.
I was
Cool.
like one of the legendary scenes for guys who were 17 years old when that movie came out.
That movie was spoken of
18,
in hushed
Donnie.
tones.
Gross.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, we're not talking about pedophilia,
Ew.
here, right? I don't want to talk about pedophilia.
Ew,
with you.
dude.
Yeah.
And then, but then she was in Starship Troopers, which she didn't show her boobs,
Yeah,
but the
Dina
girl
Meyer did.
Dina Meyer showed her boobs, and there was that co-ed Army Starship Troopers
In
shower
every
scene.
Paul Verhoeven scene
Yeah.
or movie? Yeah.
Yeah, and
All I
like,
saw was rated R for nudity, Denise Richards.
hell
So
yeah,
I went,
yeah.
and that didn't happen. And I was like, God damn it. Why
Yeah.
the fuck are you going to have Denise Richards in a movie, rated R for nudity, and she don't do nothing? She's
Yeah.
the fancy pilot.
She wore the hell out of that suit, though.
Yeah, she did great. It was good. I mean, she
Dude,
got
I loved
naked
Starship
later.
Troopers.
She has an OnlyFans now, Denise Richards.
Does she really?
Is it an OnlyFans, or is it one of those just like, oh, I'm in a bikini?
A friend told me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to research.
Yeah.
You should go research
Need to
that.
research. Yeah,
What's the
I'll be in my
opposite of
bunk.
pedophilia? How old is she now?
Old Ophelia.
I think she's in her 50s now.
But the real star of Starship,
Gerophilia? Geriatrophilia?
Geriatrophilia.
the real star of Starship Troopers is Jake Busey's huge teeth in the background of every scene. Yeah. It glares in 4K.
It's like a dolphin.
He's always looming in the background, playing the rapey violin while they're dancing and smiling huge. And it's like, can you turn the contrast down on your teeth?
With 4K, we really brought out the enamel in his teeth. Yeah.
You can see all the pock marks.
I still love the best.
Everybody should have a friend like me. But it's funny how he's just like his dad, but even he's like his dad post motorcycle accident.
Can I bother you for just a kiss? I'm very lonely out here.
Yeah.
That's my favorite scene from Fear and Loathing.
So what prompted you watching Starship Troopers? Like what?
My wife was trying to tell my son that it was a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Like a video game kind of movie for kids. And I didn't realize, I forgot that there was so much nudity. Because it wasn't Denise Richards' nudity, it didn't count.
Right. It's like it's invisible. I don't see nudity that isn't Denise Richards.
It's so cheesy. The CG is so bad.
Well,
no, I thought the CG was still good. It
was before.
It kind of holds up. Like the bugs and stuff kind of hold up.
I can't imagine what
the bugs looked good. The ships looked horrible for some reason.
The ships always looked horrible.
The video effects of "Do You Want to Know More" looked weird.
Really,
it's sticking out.
Yeah, I might have to watch that again here. It's been a long time since I've watched it.
I love Starship, but I still love that. Was it a murderer was caught today? His trial was this afternoon. Guilty. Boom.
Yeah.
Execution tonight. All net, all channels.
Very, very Verhoeven. It was so Verhoeven.
Yeah, I love Starship. I saw that in theaters, and I don't think there was hardly anybody else in the theater. So I don't think that movie did very good.
Remember how everybody's Mexican in the future, according to Robert Heinlein?
Costa Rica.
Rico. Yeah. Johnny Rico. Diaz.
Yeah.
Or
they're
Dizzy,
all white people with
Ramirez,
Mexican last names.
Goddamn,
that's Robert Heinlein's dystopian version of the future.
My whole family was in Buenos Aires.
Everyone's Mexican.
That's wild. Yeah, Ronnie Cox was in it too.
Robert Heinlein is the one
that Johnny's dad.
Yeah, you're going to Harvard, and that's the end of it.
He's so fucking good. I like Ronnie Cox a lot. Anything he does, he turns into gold.
Well, my favorite, the best, one of my favorite things about that movie was freaking Michael Ironsides, of course. Like, you got to have Ironsides in a Paul Verhoeven movie.
Come on, you apes. You want to live forever.
Yeah.
This is now the Starship Troopers podcast.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that was written by Robert Heinlein. He was the top triumvirate of sci-fi writers in the 50s.
Yeah.
Him and Asimov and Arthur C.
Yeah,
Clarke.
he was weird.
I remember they were like, we're going to put out a Starship Troopers video game right after the movie came out, but it was based on the novel, so it was like very like 50s based technology.
Because Paul Verhoeven said, he's like, I read like the first like 2 chapters, and then I was like, I'm going to make my own movie.
And so, the reviews of it were like 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Paul Verhoeven's from like Dutch. He's Dutch.
Okay.
He's Verhoeven.
You
know? Paul Verhoeven. He's a maniac. I love him though.
Has he done anything recently?
He did Elle. That got nominated for an Oscar a while back. That's pretty.
I haven't watched that one.
That's one I wouldn't want to watch over and over again.
It's probably as an old boy situation. Yeah, probably.
It's very much it's a rape focused movie.
It's a rape focused movie.
Rape positive.
It revolves around a rape, So your mileage is going to vary on that. Whether you want to, he didn't try. I don't think he tried to make it sexy or anything like that.
Right.
Which is good.
Heinlein was the guy that wrote that quote: "If a person needs to be able to calm a ship, tie a knot, change a baby."
Mm-hmm.
I said it was Hemingway last show. But
was that Heinlein?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
No, Heinlein was interesting. He his I guess one of his most famous books is Stranger in a Strange Land, and it's weird.
Is it?
Like a lot of Heinlein stuff is just weird.
I haven't read enough of it.
Yeah, he's probably out of all those like mid-century sci-fi authors, he's definitely the weirdest one. Mm-hmm. Like lots of weirder sex stuff.
Asimov?
Oh yeah, way weirder than Asimov. Asimov is all like, I am a logical robot. Like that's
Isaac sci-fi fantasy.
Sci-fi fantasy. Was there even sci-fi fantasy back then? Dragon Riders of Pern.
Yeah,
maybe?
Hell yeah.
Maybe
Did you ever read those?
Yeah, I remember those.
Maybe Dianetics. I don't know.
Dianetics is there's definitely a fantasy.
The Bible was also sci-fi fantasy.
One of my all-time.
That was the earliest sci-fi fantasy.
One of my all-time downers is inviting Donnie and another friend of ours over. I made them watch Battlefield Earth when it came out.
It's because your family, your parents bought it.
They bought it, and I was like, "Oh, we're watching this."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I think everyone was like, "All right." There's just the tone of the room was just everyone was so down, and I think one of my friends looked at was like, "Fuck you," and then walked left after.
But it gave us a lot of nice little inside jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of little impressions of John Travolta with all your measly ships and easy.
What's her name? Amelie at the breadbasket?
Yeah, person at the breadbasket.
They're always talking in Farsi to each other. And it's fine, whatever. But I gotta say something.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they break in the conversation while I'm sitting there buying stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's what I was saying, man. I have
been
no
there.
idea what they're talking about. Yeah, but I told Amelie that I was Jewish, and she was horrified. She's like,
what?
I'm so sorry. Like I was, because they're Turkish people.
Yeah.
Jews are disgusting.
Aw.
And I was like, well, it's not much. It's only an eighth. And she was like, I can cut. We have kitchen. Bring your arm. I can cut off the Jew part.
Aw.
You'll be clean. We have nice
Yeah,
knife.
that was the joke that you made. It's like, well, what if the part of you that was Jewish was your foreskin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1/8 of me was my
1/8.
big, huge, floppy elephant foreskin hanging off the front.
And all of a sudden, the prices at the breadbasket increase for you. Like, wait a minute.
The convenience is no longer
It's
convenient.
no longer convenient for you. I'm sorry.
So we
Out
want
of
to do
touch.
a commercial for Lucky. Speaking of cereal, speaking of generic cereal, I wanted to do a skit of the gay Lucky Charms leprechaun where he's like, pink cocks, yellow ladyboys, blue waffles, lemon parties, and all the marshmallows are weird gay things.
Oh, gosh.
It's like weird,
It's not for children anymore.
weird, gross out memes. Yeah.
This Lucky Charms is not for kids anymore.
Uh-uh.
There's a new COVID now, but if you had it before, you can be like a COVID hipster. I had it when it was cool, when it was killing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is just a donkey cough now, but when I had it,
You'll know it.
I could have been dead.
That's right.
But we are going to do a god awful group gospel hour NPR membership drive speech. For 1 year we've been making jokes about penises and gay stuff. And it's supported by members like you. So if you want us to continue to be able to provide Star Wars, tit jokes.
Star Wars, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to move it. We got to get the TikTok guys over into the YouTubes, into the. We were hoping to monetize enough so that we could pay for Adobe itself within a year, but it might not happen. We might have to keep.
All somebody has to do is donate $600.
But
Patreon
we have to
is
be
$600. Venmo, the God Awful Gospel Hour, $600, please.
Well, we have to go pretend to give people stuff.
Yeah.
And then have people donate to those videos and have.
No, what are you talking about? We are giving them stuff. We're
Yeah.
giving them a beautiful episode every
Quality
week.
product.
A perfect episode.
We're making
It was
fun
a
of the
perfect,
Bible.
perfect episode, just like Trump had a perfect phone call.
Perfect phone call.
There was no collusion.
Mm-mm.
There was nothing wrong with that phone call. It was perfect.
I like how you're spinning that into, it was my opinion. Am I not allowed to have my opinion? It's like, dude, get out of here.
Did y'all used to steal your parents' liquor and fill the bottle back up to the level?
I was not that much of a degenerate.
Yeah.
No, but my brother did.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you used to steal your parents' liquor and fill it back up, and now the kids are going to be stealing their parents' gummies and putting normal gummies in there to fill
Some
the bottle back
Haribo's.
up. This gummy's not doing shit. I need to take another one.
That's right.
I thought I got red ones. Why is there a yellow one in here?
I'm not getting high, but my ass is getting huge.
Boring gummies. But there's the Always Sunny podcast where they go per episode, and there's a Sopranos one
Yeah.
where they go per
And
episode.
there's the Office Ladies. And
I was thinking
Everything.
we could do a Starsky and Hutch per episode and watch like some old weird funny 70s show with
Yeah.
like cool cars and
Get Smart.
clothes. Yeah.
Dude, so I downloaded a lot of
One where everyone's dead, so we can be the only ones doing it
Yeah.
that are available.
Yeah. I downloaded all the Mission Impossible episode, like the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's an
it's
interesting show.
yeah, it's fun to go back and watch like what was like cutting edge,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
hardcore in like 1966 or whenever the first season of Mission. It's weird to see a young Martin Landau because he's always been just old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that he was always old, but
Telly
there's a young
Savalas.
version of him with his giant lips and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty good.
I think Peter Graves on that.
Yeah.
Thought so.
Have y'all heard about the orca attacks? They're
Yes.
getting people kayaking
Yeah.
They'll teach
because
them.
you fucked around and found out. You
That's-
went where there's not
that's-
air and you're going to die.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
right.
go where there's not air.
Yeah. That's chaos math. It's Jeff Goldblum. We need him to talk about it. Life.
Oh, yes.
Death finds a way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Instead of life finds a way, death will find you. It's chaos math. There's going to be like a Karen Kyle kayak statement where they're like, I was told I could travel unmolested across the surface of the ocean. And I was brutally, viciously, sexually harassed by this orcas from out of nowhere.
I always think about that now. Every time I travel, I hope I can travel unmolested.
You're going to know when I'm going to molest you. You're going to feel
You're
it.
gonna know.
I I was working on a bit about Lego Batman because Will Arnett and Amy Poehler broke up because of infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
So I was imagining a scenario in which Will Arnett was like, I don't have to deal with you anymore, Amy Poehler. I'm Batman now. And she was like, whatever, you're Lego Batman. He was like, I can get pussy off of being Lego Batman.
You're
don't even
Batman.
worry about me over here. I'll be all right. You keep hanging out with Tina Fey and making like strong stuff. I'm going to go be infidelity because I'm Lego Batman. I'm going to get some Lego Batman pussy.
Some strange.
Did you hear the rumor going about is that Tina Fey's replacing Lorne on SNL when he retires?
Right.
I would have.
I'm fine with that.
I would have been much better with that before George Floyd.
I think they should let Shane Gillis run SNL.
Hell yeah, dude.
What happened with George Floyd? What are we talking about?
So whenever the George Floyd thing happened and all the people in Hollywood decided they needed to do some really dumb symbolic things to show how good of a person they were.
Well, I'm not going to judge because I did the blackout screen picture, dude. I mean, some of us did. But again, that was my period of growing, right? So
that's what your period of learning how you have to be lame before you can learn to not be lame, right?
Exactly.
So when that happened, Tina Fey pulled some episodes of 30 Rock from like where you could reach them, and one of them was, or more than one of them was, where certain characters do blackface.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it as long as she brings back the Steven Seagal episode.
And then the John Hamm where he did blackface. And once again,
mm-hmm.
context matters.
Oh,
when you do a show and you have somebody in blackface and the joke is how horrible blackface is,
right, it's horrible.
then it's fine.
Yeah.
Tina Fey pulled those episodes and in her statement
viciously
started she listed off some very specific phrases that told me what had happened to her mind at that point.
What has happened?
The phrases included "do the work."
She got ginked.
They included "regardless of context or intent."
Oh no!
Basically, the same kind of thing where how now if you see a noose, it's racist no matter what.
Yeah. You
can't have a noose in the Old West because noose only now means lynching and only now means black people. It's the same thing with the context doesn't matter with blackface. If you do blackface and the joke is how horrible blackface and racist blackface is, that's different from just doing blackface and saying, haha, aren't we funny because we're doing blackface, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she did that. That's what makes me afraid that the mind virus has infected Tina Fey. Therefore, maybe SNL isn't going to be as good as it would have been if she was the showrunner in 2006.
Yeah,
I
back
thought
whenever
SNL
we were
was
at the
just
pinnacle.
Always terrible.
Right?
That thing, like SNL's always terrible.
Yeah.
You know. Well, I it's one of those things. It's an overcorrection, right? Like it's yeah. I'm thinking about the two instances you're talking about. I remember the John Hamm one because that was like where they were trying to do like an Amos and Andy thing.
Yeah, I stole this catfish.
Then,
yeah.
But like I always remember him going
and then
banjo, and then like Tracy Morgan's like you
just
motherfucker,
looking at him like he wants to murder
yeah,
him.
oh,
that's the joke. Is that how
joke,
bad blackface was to an actual black person, where he wanted to beat the shit out of you for doing it, right?
Yeah. And then I remember when
Jenna dressed up because Tracy dressed up in whiteface and she dressed up in blackface because they were trying to walk a mile in each other's shoes, right?
I just remember, Tracy had like the little alien claw. Like, why do you have an alien claw? So
it's just let's not be idiots. Let's not be simpletons. Let's not be shallow.
It's touchy.
Let's realize that that things are funny because of the context, and that when you decide context doesn't matter, that's basically you doing a 1984 style lockdown of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. You're manipulating your own thoughts into this black and white thinking, to where it makes it really easy for you to all of a sudden say we were always at war with Eurasia and we were always allies with East Asia, when we all know that 5 minutes ago it was the opposite. That's just a mental trick that people do to themselves.
It's easy to ignore history.
Self-gaslighting.
Yeah, self-gaslighting.
Did you guys
it's religion. Hey.
Being faithful. Did you guys ever get to go to any advanced screenings of anything?
Well, Jason just told us a story about going to the advanced screenings of Social Network. I guess it was during a break, right?
Yeah, it was the social. Yeah, before the break, the Social Network. Went to go see that advanced. I mean, I got to go see Knives Out early, but that was like I think that wasn't like a press thing.
He also had to inhale Ryan Johnson's farts. That was part of the requirements.
Hey, I'll stand up for Knives Out.
I like Knives Out. I like the first one.
Yeah.
I like how anybody that gets an advanced copy or an advanced screening of anything goes online immediately goes, "Here are my thoughts." Like, who the fuck are you? Why do we need your thoughts?
Here comes Moses down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments. Yeah.
I just get excited if a Blu-ray or game shows up a day early.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you should tell
it's like a good little Christmas present.
Yeah. I got No Time to Die a day early, or maybe a few days early because, Amazon owns MGM, so yeah. So I got that early, and I was like, all right. And I was like, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to put my digital copy in the cloud, and then reality sets in immediately, and you can't put it in until release date.
It's
like, damn it. Cause
that's what you get for breaking street date, Jason.
That's right.
You criminal.
It happened to me for...
Got to use an EMP pulse and turn all the power.
It happened for me to No Time to Die, and it happened to me on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So,
oh, yeah.
So I just treat that like a game, So it is. It's a very good 90-minute video game.
All right. So this has been a lot of recording, and I think that I'm going to have some fun editing.
We're going to parse it.
You're
the
master
of editing.
Episodes there. The master of editing. My life, my rules.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully this will be a couple episodes, and then we'll have more.
Oh, yeah. You didn't let me plug my site.
Yeah, what's your site?
All right, so go to google.com. Go Google shit. That's my site.
Yeah, Google all the things that you talked about.
Google all the things you talked about. There you go.
Yeah, you'll find materials.
That's right.
Bye.